Yeah.
Okay, welcome everyone. Mike. And all the listeners. Today is 28th of March, and this is the Scheduler Project community meeting. This meeting is like under code of conduct of Kubernetes. So basically, should behave and respect ourselves. And yeah, as the first item here, I wanted to just quickly discuss over the call, the recording, because we already discussed a bit over Slack, just to get this like printed somewhere, changing the cadence of the meeting. So right now we are like meeting every 2 weeks because of some things that are happening on the project, but also because of availability of the members. We are not like having enough I don't know, agenda points, and we discussed like reducing the cadence of the meeting. So yeah, do you have anything to add, Mike?
No, I think that's a good idea. We've been skipping a lot of meetings. I don't know if we can make that decision right here with just the two of us, but putting it into writing, and if we could make the call out that says we're thinking of changing it right now, and if we don't hear back from anyone by the next meeting,
Yeah,
I think that's fair and notice.
yeah, I think we can like send on SIG scheduling channel. It
Yeah.
has a lot of people, and then yeah, we can see a thread there. Cool. And then the second item is the plugin index and implementation approach. We discussed it before the meeting now. And yeah, the idea is to avoid having to maintain another repository with all the plugins, and like having them out of tree wouldn't be exactly out of tree if we have to maintain everything that is in the other repository anyways. So yeah, we've been thinking about some approaches. Mike brought up like this index idea that some projects already use, like Crew and like Operator Hub. And we're exploring both like the implementation of how we would like get the plugins together with the project to build an image, or maybe having some other implementations approach that I also mentioned in the issue, like having another binary and gRPC, uh, having a communication via gRPC with it, and it also being a plugin, but another binary at runtime. And yeah, there's a lot of discussion that we could have, and I think it's a nice topic. It would be nice to have more people. We can have this as a agenda item that we re-include in another meeting. But yeah, Mike, what? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be great if we had some more people to talk to us about, but getting it out there and getting ideas is good to start with now. Um, I think for this whole framework, we really copied a lot of the concepts from the scheduling framework, and so that kind of naturally leads to looking at the like scheduler plugins repo that they created for that. Um, I think that approach where all the code is contributed into this smaller third party repo um, really fits well with like where the scheduler currently lives, so that like in tree code for the scheduler is code that lives in Kubernetes/Kubernetes, which is a huge repo and is kind of slow to get stuff through, and you know not very high velocity changes can happen there. So um, I think that totally made sense for them, and it's natural for us to, I think, look at that and look to that as an example of what we could do. What I worry for our side is that our tree itself, like kind of like you were saying, is much smaller than Kubernetes. So
Yeah.
having a second repo, it would ultimately be like the same size and the same general velocity of what we have. Um, So the benefits from there start to taper off. I think that there are a lot of benefits to that where you've got all of the extra code in or all the like third-party code in one place. Maybe it's contributed by other companies that don't want to be tied to the core descheduler project, or maybe don't have the time to maintain it up at the speed that we want to release with, or just we don't want to be burdened down as the SIG with trying to like gatekeep every new feature that comes out. So from that point, I started to think of this, like take a much more lightweight approach where we can index all of the code and it's searchable and people can build their deschedulers off of that. But it's just basically a list of references to that code living in other repos, other places. So people can have whatever build and release cycle they want. And we're just pointing to that. And whenever they want to release a new version or something, they can submit a PR that updates basically just a README of links to their code. So I think that kind of approach, like I was saying to you earlier before the calls, that makes more sense for something that scales a lot, has a lot of different contributors. Like Operator Hub and Crew both have way more submissions than we'll probably get. So if we're just looking at a smaller scale of contributions, yeah, that third-party code repo, it could be a good way for us to like set up an arm's length maintenance contract where we say, these are not actively maintained by the SIG. They could be maintained by whatever owner is in the owner's file. But that's sort of like a no guarantee on these plugins could be a good way for us to do that. Just looking at the variety of options and the trade-offs of all of them, I think it's good to consider.
Yeah. And then you mentioned before, like maybe we would have like a requirement for the person to be a org member, so we can actually act as a.
Yeah, I think if we're doing a like a repo where the code is submitted, we need to have someone that's contributing the code needs to take ownership of it with an owner's file. And I think that like having a Kate's org member, I think it's just a requirement to be in an owner's file in the Kubernetes org. If not, and we can set up some other ownership method. But if we want to, put like that arm's length and say the SIG isn't going to own this, there should be someone that can own it and approve changes to it. Otherwise, it's why are we even promoting that code if no one wants to own it? Then should we be recommending that to anyone? Maybe stuff that someone writes once and it's perfect, and it could be just a really simple plugin that. But I think that we should have at least one owning person, and that could be someone from the SIG. Maybe someone contributes a plugin that the SIG says, yeah, we'd like to maintain this too, and we throw that in. But something to think about there is, owners.
Yes. Do you have anything else to add to this topic we should discuss?
No, I've rambled enough already.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking, I like both ideas. I see pros and cons of both. But I also see that like if we start early with the index, it's better. Like if we need to go the index direction, because then migrating from the repo that has everything to the index would be harder.
Yeah, and that's a good point, actually. I think, it would be, in a way, we could start with an index, and if we want to pull code in, it'd be easier to go from that direction, right? From an index to hosting code, because that could just be the same representation. It could be a mixture. Some plugins are just like an index file or like a wrapper function that supports this, and others might be the full code. So maybe we want some sort of hybrid approach.
Yeah.
That might be flexible.
Cool. Yeah, the next topic I just added here because Amir mentioned on Slack the bump is failing.
Yeah, I think he said that we need to update our CI, our test infra, to 120.
He also sent a question like, do we really need API server as a dependency to have the health check? Because maybe he thinks that's the thing that is failing. And he was wondering if we could remove that dependency.
That's a good question. I actually don't know where the health check is in the code. Is that just write it startup?
But is the health check for the metrics server? Because I
I,
don't see any other health check that makes sense, because it's like the scheduler is just, it's not exposing anything.
yeah, I don't even know exactly which health check he was referring to.
Okay, yeah, we can have a look.
That's one of those things that was probably set up a long time ago.
Yes.
Try to remember what it is.
Yeah, we can check this async. I just added here because maybe we could, if we knew it on top of our head, we could like already give a response.
Be surprising if I don't know. I would be surprised if that's the only thing we're using the API server dependency for. I feel like there's got to be other um, like APIs that we're just pulling structs from and using. Like we check pod. I guess that's not API server. It's just core v1. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, we can check this async then. The other thing that I wanted to check, and this we can also create a thread on SIG scheduling Slack, is if it makes sense for us to have a dedicated channel, like a dev channel, like the scheduler dev or something like that. So right now we have like a group chat on Slack, and every time that we want to add someone, like we need to do that manually. And the other way around, if we have a channel, people can just join and opt in. And yeah, it's just a PR on the community Kubernetes repo to add the channel and then review it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it would help people find descheduler, like who to reach. I know people, or at least whenever I am on Slack, I just like open up browse channels and start typing for the component that I want. So the fact that this is under SIG scheduling right now, it could be good to maybe ask the SIG scheduling people like Aldo and Abdullah and Wei what they think about this, so that we're not
Okay.
like splitting. Like maybe they would rather keep all of the SIG scheduling discussion, anything that's owned under one channel, rather than splitting the channels off. But um, just as like a courtesy, I think would be good to ask.
Yeah. The way I was thinking was more like any support or user question I would see still happening on SIG scheduling, but then development and like roadmap or anything like that we would discuss in the scheduled dev channel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Um, yeah, I think that that's good.
Yeah. But
I
I think
imagine.
it makes sense still to ask them. Yeah. Just to, yeah.
Yeah, just run it by them. They're the SIG chairs.
Yes, makes
um,
sense. Yeah. I added this like going over PRs together, but I don't think it would make sense now. It would be nice with more people as well. We have a lot of PRs open that I think should be cleaned up.
yeah.
And I think some we were waiting like for the scheduler framework to be kind of done, but I think some are just in a way obsolete already, probably. We can do that at async as well.
Yeah. I'm surprised that we only have 16 open PRs right now.
I think some were closed by the bot as well.
Well,
Yeah.
uh, that bot is a little. We should be a little better at adding life cycle frozen to things. I think, um, it's not. I guess it's not good hygiene to have a bunch of frozen issues sitting around, but we only have a couple maintainers, so I'm fine with things that are long-standing, just being open for a long time.
Yeah, if it's a feature request, maybe, and that we see being implemented some time, we can just froze it, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, makes sense.
yeah, there are
Cool.
a couple of features in here that we could close out too, I think.
Yeah, this go path one, I was like, I think I saw something get merged and fixed something for me. Like I had like the make not working for some time, the make gen,
Oh,
and then it started working. So I think someone fixed this.
yep, that's possible.
Yeah, but we can also check this one, this async.
Yeah, doing a little spring cleaning. Good idea.
Yes, I had another one, but I thought that we could maybe have a dedicated meeting for that one. Like maybe we could have a roadmap, like planning in a way,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
like for things that should happen after the schedule framework cycle is in. I
Yeah.
think we have already some agenda items that would like also be inside the roadmap, like open telemetry discussion, the node feed options that some users brought up, and some other stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, getting those kind of things queued up, like what is our next step? Great idea.
exactly. Yeah, but then I think this is a discussion that could take the whole meeting as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Do you have anything else?
I did not. I see that Jan's been making some PRs for the framework.
Yeah.
That is getting pretty close to done, right? I think after we get these framework types set up, um, I guess we should define like what is our end state of this, right?
I think that the scheduling cycle, like having the schedule plugins running before the balance plugins for all the profiles. I think he's working on that now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, this is exciting. It's it's been a little messy moving through it, but I think at the end of it, like this code is going to be a lot better structured than it was. It was starting to get kind of spaghetti.
Yes.
But
Yes. It'd be easier to get contributions and also to maintain it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Yeah. If you don't have anything else, I think that's it. Yeah, thanks for joining. I'll see you on the next one.
Yeah. Thanks for hosting.
Take care. Bye-bye.